man poured a glass of water on the ground. The next second, the puddle of water was split in two. Then the man brought a ruler to measure, but found that the wall is completely tilted. Then he brought a ruler to measure inside the house, and then came to the same location outside to measure. Finally, the man was surprised to find the outside of the house is 2 meters wider than the inside of the house. Oh my God! What is this house? Is it for people to live in? Kevin's family came to a cottage on a hillside. It's got a great view. The air was nice. But what Kevin didn't expect was how strange it was. At night, his daughter was playing shadow games in bed. The next moment, a figure appeared out of nowhere. That's when Kevin walked in. Daughter told him about the shadow, but Kevin did not care. He told her to go to bed. After Kevin left, the daughter looked at the wall and felt a little scared, shrunk into the blanket. The next second, a shadow flashed by. At 10:30 p.m. Kevin went downstairs to turn off the lights. When he came back, his wife was already asleep. Kevin thought he had turned off the light and fell asleep so quickly, but he didn't know that it took nearly 5 hours to turn off the lights. When he woke up the next day, it was noon. Kevin drove to the town at the kiosk to buy some household goods. Before leaving the checkout, the boss said bizarrely,
"Anything happened yet?"
after saying that he also mysteriously gave him a triangular ruler. When he came out, Kevin saw a woman standing in front of the car. Into his car after the woman also said bizarrely,
You never saw us yet.
No.
Only saw you.
Saul makes him a little confused. In the evening, Kevin insomnia to the study to write diary, but somehow a line appeared on his notebook. He turned around and found that there was nothing behind him. After turning around, Kevin was still unsure. Then he turned his head again and found a door appearing out of nowhere between the bookcases. Kevin opened the door and saw only a staircase and a wobbly chandelier. He dared to walk downstairs into the hallway when a figure suddenly flashed behind him. He continued to walk and saw pictures all over the floor. He picked them up and saw that they were all of his family. Then he came to a corner of the corridor. He saw his daughter's toy doll thrown on the floor. When he looked up, he saw his daughter's leg. Kevin rushed forward to check. His daughter had lost her breath. Kevin was terrified and panicked. Cannot believe this is true. He felt it was a dream and tried to wake himself up, but to no avail. Kevin grabbed another bottle and cracked it, but to no avail. Finally, he stabbed himself in the neck. The next second, Kevin finally woke up. He rushed to the study with his wife to verify his dream, but it was as if the door had never existed. Kevin picked up his notebook again and looked at the line, but when he opened it, there were 2 more sentences. The man opened a door under the stairs. He found that he could enter the living room. Then he ran out and came back and opened the door, but found that the living room had become a corridor. He hurriedly picked up a stool to block the door. When he looked up, he was shocked. Kevin poured a glass of water on the floor. The next second, the water was split in 2. Then Kevin took out a ruler and measured, but found that the angle of the wall is not right. He took out the ruler again and measured inside the house. Then he went outside to the same location and started measuring. Finally found that the outside of the house and the inside of the width of nearly 2 meters. At that time, his daughter felt a little cool and wanted to go back to the house to put on her clothes. But when she put on her clothes and came out of the house, at the door, he did not see his daughter's figure. Kevin came inside and saw only the clothes on the floor. So he went upstairs and started looking for his daughter. After a search, but found nothing. At that moment, his daughter was in a dark hallway, walking a door but automatically opened. Then his daughter went inside and saw a bathtub. After coming down the stairs, Kevin found an additional door under the stairs. When he opened the door, he found the living room. What the hell is going on here? Then Kevin ran outside and came to the door again. When he opened the door, he found that the living room had become a hallway. Kevin quickly grabbed a stool to block the door. Then he turned around and found that this time the hallway had become longer. He opened a door and walked in and found that the study and the dream of the door appeared again. Kevin opened the door and it was dark inside. Turned on the light and here was the long hallway his daughter had just walked down. And the daughter looked at the bathtub and walked over. The next second, the bathtub suddenly extended a hand. Scared daughter quickly turned around to run away, and a man suddenly appeared behind her and blocked the way. The daughter was so scared that she ran out screaming. Hearing his daughter's voice, Kevin looked for the sound, but the door did not unscrew how to unscrew. Then Kevin hit with his body but did not hit open. Finally kicked it directly. After kicking a few times, finally kicked open out. Kevin found his daughter at the stairs. For the safety of his daughter, He called his wife, but his wife's phone was turned off and could not be reached. Then Kevin thought of the kiosk owner. He called and asked the owner for help, but the owner didn't give Kevin a chance to talk, muttered something strange to himself, and then hung up the phone. Kevin hadn't noticed that the place where the photo was hung before. There were several photo frames that appeared out of nowhere. The man rented a villa online for vacation, but the villa is full of strange things. A series of bizarre events make the man disturbed. For the sake of his daughter's safety, he plans to leave the place, but when they went out, a man actually appeared in the villa. The daughter whispered to Kevin. He looked back and couldn't help but feel a couple of. He hastily picked up his daughter and quickly walked outside. The night temperature is extremely low. Let the daughter has been cold. Kevin can only hold her tightly. After walking for nearly an hour, Kevin saw the light. When a clear look scared Kevin a shiver. It turned out that they returned to the villa the same way. Kevin could not let his daughter freeze to death. Had to take his daughter back to the villa. In the morning, he contacted his wife to come and pick up his daughter. Kevin turned off the lights and prepared to sleep. Suddenly a flash of white light woke Kevin up. He thought someone else had come into the house. He got up and went to the bathroom to check, but found nothing. At that moment, the bathroom door suddenly closed. Kevin went up to open the door, but walked into darkness. Kevin called out his daughter's name as he walked around the house. As he walked, he suddenly saw a bathtub. Kevin went up to check it out, but then a man appeared behind him and pinned him to the ground. A flash of light and the man disappeared into thin air. Kevin rushed up the stairs and ran out, opened the door again and came into the room, but there was a picture of himself and his daughter on the wall. At this point, Kevin felt that something was wrong. He ran out to the study. He actually saw himself writing in the diary before. While he went to the supermarket, he wrote that line in his notes. After writing it, he finished it and went downstairs, but saw the scene of his family's first day at the villa, but no one responded to his shouting. That's when Kevin got a phone call.
Hello. You're not going anywhere.
At that moment, the time started to go out of order. The watch on his wrist also began to spin rapidly. After opening it, he rushed to run upstairs, but when he was about to run up, he came back to the same place. Finally, Kevin ran up the stairs and then leapt with force. The next second, there was a flash. Kevin was in the bathtub again. It was a man in a hat appeared in front of him, and his daughter was screaming for help, but there were walls on all sides and only the shadow of his daughter. Kevin turned around and looked at the man who thought he had kidnapped his daughter. Then he grabbed his cane and hit the man. But no matter how Kevin hit, the man could not hit. When the man took off his hat, he had the same face as Kevin. Then he said, "You are the one who trapped your daughter here." At this point, Kevin realized what was going on. He sat on the stairs and covered his face. And the man then said, "And you know what we've gotta do." Then the man disappeared from the scene. At that moment, his daughter came down the stairs. He finally breathed a sigh of relief as he hugged his daughter. The next day, his wife drove to the area, and Kevin chose to stay and continue to atone for his sins. It turns out that Kevin had been married before that. The ex-wife fell asleep in the bathtub because of the pills and slowly sank into the tub. But Kevin watched from the sidelines and did not do anything. And this villa is the place to atone for their sins. He will spend his life to pay for it.